You're not broken, you're distracted. You think you've lost motivation, but what you've really lost is focus. Every time you try to work, your brain pulls you in 10 different directions. A text, a notification, a random memory, a new idea. You open your phone for just a second and 40 minutes vanish. Then you feel guilty, drained, and somehow even less focused than before. You tell yourself you need more discipline, more time, more energy. But the truth is, you don't need more, you need less. Less noise, less input, less friction. Focus isn't about doing more, it's about removing what doesn't matter. You're not lazy, you're overloaded. The modern world is designed to steal your attention. Apps are engineered to hijack your dopamine. That's the chemical in your brain that drives motivation and reward. Every ping, every swipe, every red notification dot is like a slot machine lever. It gives you a hit of stimulation, not satisfaction. That's why you can scroll for hours and still feel empty. You're feeding your brain dopamine without direction. It's like giving fuel to a car that's not moving, energy wasted. But here's the hopeful part, your focus isn't gone, it's just buried under digital clutter. You can retrain it. You can rebuild it. It starts with understanding how your brain truly works. The human brain wasn't built for constant input. For most of history, your ancestors had limited stimuli, maybe a few voices, a few problems, a few goals. Now you process more information in a single day than someone in the 15th century did in their entire life. Every headline, video, and message fights for a tiny slice of your attention. Your brain, trying to protect you, switches constantly between them, thinking it's multitasking. But it's not. Neuroscience shows there's no such thing as multitasking. There's only rapid task switching. And every switch costs you cognitive energy. Imagine your focus like a spotlight. Every time you jump from one thing to another, that spotlight dims slightly. Do it 100 times an hour and you're left in the dark, mentally exhausted, emotionally drained, physically restless. That's why at the end of the day, even without doing much, you feel tired. Your brain has been sprinting from one thought to the next without ever crossing a finish line. Focus fatigue is real, and it's one of the biggest reasons people feel unfulfilled. Because deep work, the kind that gives meaning, only happens when your spotlight stays still long enough to illuminate one thing. Here's what most people get wrong. They think focus is a character trait, something you either have or you don't. But it's not. Focus is a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained. You can sharpen it. You can stretch it. But to do that, you must first manage the environment you live in. You can't expect your mind to be calm in chaos. You can't expect to stay present while bathing in distraction. The environment always wins. If your phone is within reach, your attention is divided, even when you're not touching it. Studies from the University of Texas showed that the mere presence of a smartphone reduces working memory and problem-solving ability. Why? Because your brain uses energy to resist temptation. Every "don't check my phone" thought burns mental calories. Willpower isn't infinite, it's fuel. The more you use it, the faster it depletes. That's why high-focus people don't rely on willpower, they design their space to eliminate temptation. It's not about being stronger, it's about being smarter. Move your phone to another room, block distracting sites during work hours, turn off non-essential notifications. You're not depriving yourself, you're detoxing your brain. The first few days will feel uncomfortable. You'll reach for your phone out of habit. You'll feel phantom vibrations that aren't even real. That's your brain's withdrawal, a sign of rewiring. Stay with it. Every minute of discomfort is your focus recalibrating. Next, let's talk about dopamine, the driver of your attention. Dopamine isn't bad, it's essential. It's what pushes you to act, to seek, to achieve. But when it's overstimulated, it backfires. When your brain gets dopamine too easily through likes, clicks, and constant novelty, it stops valuing slower, harder rewards like reading, learning, or deep work. You become addicted to immediacy. You crave stimulation, not satisfaction. To fix that, you must rebalance your dopamine. It starts by reducing cheap dopamine, things that trigger quick spikes with no long-term meaning. Endless scrolling, constant multitasking, background noise that fills silence. Replace it with earned dopamine, focus-driven activities like finishing a task, completing a workout, journaling, or creating something from scratch. These actions release dopamine too, but in smaller, sustainable waves. Over time, your brain starts craving those deeper rewards again. Think of it like resetting your palate. When you stop eating junk, real food starts tasting good again. When you stop feeding your brain junk stimulation, real focus starts feeling good again. The next step is attention training. Start small, one focus block per day, 15 minutes of uninterrupted work on one meaningful thing. No phone, no background music, no switching tabs, just you, your breath, and the task. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. That's not failure, that's a repetition. Every time you return, you're strengthening your attention muscle. It's like lifting a mental dumbbell. The weight of distraction builds the strength of focus. As the days pass, increase your focus blocks to 30, then 60 minutes. The magic isn't in the duration, it's in the depth. A single focused hour can outperform an entire distracted day. You'll start noticing something strange. Time slows down. You'll feel more control, more peace, more flow. That's the reward of true focus, presence. Presence is power. It's the ability to fully live the moment you're in instead of constantly escaping it. Most people never experience this because their attention is scattered across dozens of open tabs in their mind. But when you practice deep focus, you close those tabs, you reclaim bandwidth. You stop living on delay. There's another reason you keep losing focus: internal clutter. Your brain can't prioritize when everything feels urgent. You wake up thinking of 10 tasks, 5 messages, 3 problems, and 1 vague sense of pressure. The mind isn't built for chaos, it's built for clarity. That's why writing things down helps so much. Externalizing your thoughts frees your mental RAM. Every to-do, every worry, every goal, write it. Get it out of your head and onto paper. Your brain can process better when it doesn't have to hold everything at once. That's why journaling, planning, and even talking out loud works. You offload the noise, leaving room for focus to breathe. When you combine external clarity with environmental control and dopamine balance, your focus starts to heal. The fog lifts, the anxiety quiets. You'll realize you were never unfocused, you were just overloaded. In the second part of this video, we'll go deeper into the emotional roots of distraction, how fear and avoidance hide behind your busy habits, and how to create a focus system that keeps you locked in even when motivation fades. But for now, remember this: your attention is your life. Where it goes, your energy follows. And if you can master your focus, you can master your world. Let's go deeper, because losing focus isn't just about technology or time, it's emotional. Every distraction hides a feeling you don't want to face. You reach for your phone not because you're curious, but because you're avoiding discomfort. Silence feels awkward, boredom feels wrong, and uncertainty feels dangerous. The brain has been conditioned to escape stillness because stillness reveals truth, and truth demands change. When you pause long enough to listen, you might hear the voice that says, "I'm not happy," or "I'm wasting my potential." And that's uncomfortable. So you escape, you scroll, snack, or switch tasks, anything to avoid that inner dialogue. But here's the paradox: the peace you're chasing through distraction can only be found in presence. Focus requires you to sit with yourself. That's why the most successful, calm, and fulfilled people are comfortable with silence. They've learned to listen instead of run. They face the discomfort, decode it, and use it as information instead of interference. Every time you resist distraction, you strengthen that muscle of awareness. You prove to yourself that you can feel uncomfortable and still stay. That's emotional discipline. And that discipline is what separates progress from paralysis. So the next time you feel the urge to check your phone mid-task, pause and ask, what am I trying not to feel right now? Maybe it's boredom, maybe fear, maybe doubt. Name it, then do the work anyway. That's how focus becomes emotional strength. Now let's talk about something deeper: avoidance disguised as busyness. Most people think they're productive because they're busy answering emails, cleaning the desk, organizing files. But busyness is a socially acceptable form of distraction. It keeps you looking active while avoiding the uncomfortable, meaningful work that actually moves life forward. It's not that you lack focus. It's that you're afraid of what focus might reveal. Because when you finally sit down and concentrate on your dreams, you confront the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That gap can feel intimidating, but that's exactly why focus matters. It's the bridge that closes that distance one action at a time. So stop hiding behind busyness. Trade activity for intention. Before every task, ask, is this movement or is this motion? Movement has direction. Motion is just noise. You don't need to do more things, you need to do the right things deeply. That's how the brain rewires. Depth creates neural efficiency. When you focus deeply on one meaningful task, your neurons fire in harmony, creating what scientists call flow state. Flow feels effortless because your brain isn't wasting energy on switching, it's all in. You felt this before when you were reading something you loved, working on a project that mattered, or losing track of time in a hobby that lights you up. Flow is the natural state of a focused mind. It's not rare, it's trained. The more you practice deep work, the faster you enter it. Here's how to train it. Pick one task, set a timer for 45 minutes, eliminate all input, and give yourself permission to be fully absorbed. No multitasking, no partial attention, just you and the work. When your brain fights back, and it will, remember this rule: don't quit when you're bored, quit when you're done. The first few minutes are always friction. The focus follows the friction. Push through, and soon you'll feel the switch, that moment when effort turns into flow. That's the reward of patience. Now, to sustain this long-term, you need clarity of purpose. Without purpose, focus has nowhere to land. You can train your attention, but if you don't know what matters, it will always drift toward distraction. So define what success looks like to you. Not in vague terms like be happier or be rich. Be specific. What do you want to feel daily? What do you want to build this year? Who do you want to become? The clearer the target, the sharper your focus becomes. It's like tuning a radio. When the frequency is clear, the noise fades. Once you have that clarity, reverse engineer your focus around it. Align your environment, your schedule, and your habits to that single purpose. Every yes or no becomes easier because it's filtered through intention. That's why purpose and focus are inseparable. Purpose is the compass, focus is the vehicle. Now, let's add one more crucial layer: recovery. Focus isn't sustainable without rest. The same brain circuits that allow deep concentration require downtime to repair. Burnout isn't caused by working too hard, it's caused by never unplugging. Rest isn't laziness, it's maintenance. So schedule recovery like a meeting. Protect your sleep like your success depends on it, because it does. During deep sleep, your brain cleans itself using the glymphatic system, washing away metabolic waste from mental effort. That's how clarity is restored. You can't focus on an exhausted brain. And one more thing, reintroduce boredom. Boredom is the birthplace of ideas. Let your mind wander. Go for a walk without headphones. Sit in silence for 10 minutes. That empty space is where creativity whispers. You don't need constant input. You need moments of nothingness so your mind can integrate everything. Finally, let's talk about focus in the emotional sense, the focus of life itself. The more distracted you are, the further you drift from yourself. But when you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your power. You start noticing beauty again, the light through the window, the taste of your coffee, the sound of your own breath. Presence isn't dramatic, but it's transformative. It's what turns ordinary days into meaningful ones. When you master focus, you stop chasing time and start creating it. You no longer say, "I don't have time." You say, "I have priorities." That's the difference between reacting and creating. You are the designer of your attention, and your attention designs your reality. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, commit to 30 minutes of deep, uninterrupted work on something meaningful. No phone, no noise, no multitasking, just presence. Notice how your energy shifts, how time expands, how pride replaces guilt. Because when you prove to yourself that you can control your focus, you realize you can control your life. Distraction isn't stronger than you, it's just louder. Turn down the noise, tune into clarity, and you'll rediscover what it means to be fully alive. This is the practice, this is the path, this is how you evolve with clarity.